Hello, 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 welcome back. This is episode 17 of our beginner series in Satisfactory. My name is Jack Blade, and I hope you've enjoyed the previous 16 episodes. Last time we built the compacted coal refiner or assemblers on the right side of the screen right now, and on at the end of that episode, I was looking at the train transfer. I was doing like troubleshooting and stuff like that, and the rubber like heavy oil residue, all of that was working fine. The trains, not so much. And I've been looking into it, and we will be making some changes there. So let's first go through what's wrong with it. If we first look at the fact that we have two trains, right? Also, the HQ train is doing its thing right now. But we have two trains doing their thing, moving over as much as possible. But there is a problem on both ends of this. Well, technically, yeah, on both ends of this. And it is that we need a second freight platform to help us actually move everything in fast enough. On top of that, if we fly over, we can see that if we look at this over here, this setup doesn't actually like put in enough, and you can see that it gets filled up. And when it does, everything stops. That is not good. So number one, we need to put out buffers between the miners down here as well and the freight platform so that they continue mining. And number two, we need to make sure that they don't have time to fill this up completely, which we do by putting in a second freight platform here and splitting it between them. And so yeah, like basically we need to have those buffers, we need to have that in. And on top of that, we also, if like that's one thing that we will be doing, but I will also be doing some other stuff continuing. You can see on the right side there, we have a lot of stuff to get through to finish off this factory. And at the end of this, I want to end up with only having the 96 turbofuel refineries and the 134 overclocked fuel generators. That's all I want to have left to handle. So let's start with setting up the second floor logistics so we have all of our resources coming up. And let's fix the train lines so that they work the way they should. And I also want to have bigger buffers and everything. So we're going to be setting all of that up. So I will be just taking a little bit of a cut to when I've fixed all of this, and I will go through what we have been, what I have done at that point. Yes. So see you soon. All right. So as you can see, I have actually put in bigger buffers here. I tested it. They go under the logistics floor here, so they won't be poking up through the floor. So that's fine. I bet I was super smart in the back. No, I wasn't. Basically, we have two lines coming in now, but only one line coming out, which means that we do get all the sulfur out we need, but we're also saving a bunch of sulfur in these, making sure that we have a buffer in case something goes wrong with the trains or something, like trains crash or some signal goes wrong or there's like a backup or whatever it is, so that those never stop. And if we go over and we look at the other platform or the other station over here, you can see that we now have this instead, right? So we have a splitter here. So the 600 coming in here splits, so 300 goes in, and then 600 goes in, so that's 900 going in there, and then we have 300, 300, so that's 600 going in here. Meaning they now don't have time to fill up the entire storages of this of the trains or of the platforms, meaning that while it's, you can see as well here, it is like filling up over here instead. And up here you can also see I have put, I don't know why I put 3, but there are 3 here. And once they are good to go, they will just continue pumping in all of the resources they need to. As you can see, so because they are not filling up, I'm actually getting all of the resources in a timely manner over to the factory that I do need, and it will be running at 100% efficiency, essentially, which is what we want. So, on top of that, what else have I done? I have pulled up our liquids here and our rubber and compacted coal. This might be going up to us yet another floor up, but I've just done it like this so I can see which is which. And we have the water coming up, and I wanted to make something look a little bit good here, so I've interchanged them like this. I bet that will bite me in the butt when it comes to actually like sorting out my logistics for plugging them into factories. And with that, the idea now, I also updated, so there's supposed to be 37 fuel blenders. I will probably put out 36 to start with, because that's 37th is literally to account for some of the surplus fuel that we want later down the line, the 500 surplus fuel. So I can put that in later. It's gonna be from this water pipe anyway, and like I will not be using that for the rest of this floor. So it will be going like so. Because this floor entirely will have the fuel blenders, and I will put them out here on this end, on this line. And then I will have the 35 plastic refiners, and I will kind of have them here, like give or take. And on top of that, I need to do a bunch of testing to make sure that things aren't backing up and stuff like that. So I will, like, because fluid dynamics are what fluid dynamics are, and I, like, while I don't like messing around with fluid dynamics, this entire factory is pretty much like mostly fluid dynamics, and we can always sink any side like byproducts like extra rubber or plastic that would cause blockages, but we can't do that with these without first packaging them, and we don't have the packaging or canister plant up and running yet, or part of this like the end game logistics up and running. So we don't have the canisters required to actually package this and sync it yet, but we will. Don't worry. So until then, things will be running a little bit inefficiently with the plastic and rubber. Hopefully I will be able to balance out so that the fuel doesn't back up, because if the fuel backs up, then the heavy oil residue backs up, and if the heavy oil residue backs up, we stop producing rubber. If we don't make rubber, we don't get the plastic that also uses some of the fuel, and yeah, it becomes a cycle of like bad stuff, and the factory will just shut down. And that is bad if you're also using the factory to produce 50,000 megawatts, and that is like most of your power production. That's a bad thing. So we kind of want to avoid that, and I will have to do that once the entire factory is done. I will have to go and balance like percentages and like underclock some stuff and all that. But it will work in the end. That is one thing I am certain of. Also, something to not be tricked about here, and I probably misspoke in the last episode because I got tricked by it. These 6 lines of heavy oil residue, they don't bring in 600 each. They bring in 400 each. So I will have to level that out because that's 2,400, which means that's 600 times 4. So I will have to like merge these in a way that makes them even, use this evenly, and actually become those 4 lines of 600. So yeah, we will get going with our plastic refineries, and if we our fuel blenders, and if we look at the recipe or the blueprint, the way they work, if I place one out here, very simply, and I will make adjustments to this later as well because I learned stuff. I learned stuff after I made these and started messing around a little bit with the fluid dynamics and stuff like that. But yeah, if we look at how these are set up, once it's loaded, you can see we're bringing in the water, we're bringing in the heavy oil residue, and I will just basically plug them up like this. There will be one of these lines per 2 of these setups, because if we look at the recipe, it uses 50 heavy oil residue and twice as much water. So each of these needs a 600 line in, but this only needs a 300 line. So I will be splitting one of the 4 600 lines we're making into 2 lines of fuel blenders. And it should be working efficiently once everything is up and running, and we can like, it's a bit in the future, but we will have efficiently running fuel and turbo fuel and like all that stuff. The most important thing is that the turbo fuel is running efficiently. Like it actually produces at least the 1500 megawatts or 1500 cubic meters per second. That is the important part. So with this setup, the idea now is to kind of just go along here, because I want them to go like this instead of this. And that is because I want to kind of change up the dynamics. So you see we have like a long ass corridor here, and up here I don't necessarily want that. I want to have them like this. I will also do some decoration around this to show you guys how you can like incorporate this into your design and break up like a flat floor and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be moving over to that quite soon. And for now, let's see what else have we fixed in here. Yeah, I've also prepped the plastic refineries. So we can show how they look. Let's see here. It's basically the same as the ones I have put downstairs. It's like these. I have literally just revamped and changed up what goes where. So like in each of these lines, the fuel is going in, right? But we also need the rubber in so that we get the plastic out. And before, like if we look at the ones down here, they are reversed. They have one input, 2 outputs. Now we needed the 2 input, 1 output. So yeah, they've been changed up, and we have the recipes set up. It's 30 rubber, 30 fuel per minute. And as long as we can consistently get the rubber and the fuel, these will keep running. That's awesome. And this is also like a stopgap. Like this is an indicator for us. If the plastic stops running, it means that we're either not producing fuel or not producing rubber, which means that one of them has backed up downstairs in the rubber section. That's something that we need, because if they like go up, like the oil and everything like here, that's perfectly fine. Like if this looks like this, that's perfectly fine. But if we look up here and we look in here and we see that there's only fuel, that means that there is no rubber being produced, which means that this is backed up and plugging the factory, because there will be sinks down here that gets rid of any excess rubber. And same thing for the plastic, meaning that it is one of the liquids that are messing up. So with that said, let's actually set this up and see what it looks like. All right, welcome to my mistake. Yeah, so the fuel blenders are set up, right? But as you can remember, we need 600 per line, and that's not really what we have here. I will fix that. What's important is that you guys can see like how I've laid this out. As you can see, like I said, they are split like this. And you have the water coming in, and that goes into a 300 line because there's 3 blenders making 300. And then same over there. Like, so each line needs 300 here. But in terms of heavy oil residue, it only needs 150. So that means that we can split, so we get 300, 300. And then on this end, it splits into 150, 150. That way, we ensure we got some efficient fuel production, barring like blockages in the liquids, which we guaranteed will have. Like we have designed the factory with more factories in mind, as in part of the ecosystem that makes it efficient. So it just won't be like 100% until we get the next. So yeah, like I have basically just set that up. Oh yeah, I really wanted to show you guys this. The logistics that goes up. Look at this beauty. Damn. Yeah, I've set this up so that you have like an open wall with these, like, they're like secure, so you can't like accidentally walk in there, or well, technically you can, but they are like blocked off. And then you have the liquids here going, right? And then the water on this end, so that when the pipes are empty, you can see how these move. Can demonstrate very simply by flushing these. So if I just flush our heavy oil residue from these container or fluid buffers, I don't think they necessarily will work because there's rubber everywhere now. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, as you can see, they are like pumping a little bit. You can see, so that's a very easy indicator that hey, the fuel residue, no, heavy oil residue is actually working. The water's actually pumping. You can see these moving. So there's a very nice, aesthetically pleasing, like way of checking that your factory is running the way it should. So yeah, that's basically what I've done with all of that. So yeah, down here, like it looks. I think that looks very nice. It's a very industrial look to the piping. I enjoy that symmetry. So yeah, I think that's what I've done so far with the fuel blenders and everything. Something to keep in mind is that they use a ton of energy. They use 75 megawatts per per blender, and there's like 36 here. So that's a lot of energy. I think if I just go here and I turn this off, I haven't even plugged everything in yet, but we're still already up to like that this factory will need 5,687 to run. That is a lot. And yeah, we also need to switch that up. We don't want that there. Something that I will encounter later is a little bit of problem with the power. Not having enough power, rather than like there was some design flaws in the network itself that made it so that unless the starter factory is on, none of the, like the western factory, the northern factory, and this factory are getting no power. Also, the power is not going to the train station that is hooked up to the network, so that the rail lines shut down as well because they don't have enough power. So yeah, that's a great thing to learn. But yeah, I figured that out later. So generally, I'm just very proud of these logistics. I'm very happy with how they look, and I'm so much looking forward to when we have more time to put in good looking stuff, because we don't really have that like for this series anymore. So we will have to wait for 1.0 before I really have time for that. But for now, let's jump over. I went crazy here with the last jump over to having set up the plastic refineries. So the fuel blenders are up. I'm going to set up the plastic refineries. Uh, I'm going to do a lot of changing here. This is not what it's going to be looking like when I am done. But and the same thing, like the rubber has to move over, plastic has to be moved. Yeah, there's a lot of logistics that goes into this on top of the factories. So let's jump over and see how this looks like in the end. All right, let's start over here, where I will just show a little bit of like what we've decorated. What we talked about before in the last episode was that I wanted to have some like visual decoration for the compacted coal, because they are quite nice looking lines down here for the collection. So yeah, I've honk honk. So yeah, I've put that in here. Same thing for this. Make sure that it looks very nice, and that we have the conveyor pipe holes and everything. And then same thing here, some visual, so you can like still see and get some natural light in. But yeah, then I put in these like cages for the what's it called? For the elevator, so you can see them, but but you can't walk and fall down and stuff. Have I done something down here? I don't think I've done anything on the first floor. It's still the same weird mess of pipes and conveyors that moves over to this area, and then as time goes on, as you can see, like rubber goes up. Put in some decoration here behind this. Like this is like basically I filled in a lot of the floors, so you can like basically see what's supposed to be the corridors, which is the white or brighter concrete, and then what's going to be like the actual factory areas is the asphalt. And yeah, if we go up, we start on here and look at the logistics. You can see that I have now merged all three or all six into these merge like lines. When you have one line here, and then I have one line over here. The reason why I don't have the fourth line yet is because I don't have anywhere to put it. It's not going anywhere. I don't need the power. I changed up how the water comes in so that I could fit belts and pipes and stuff underneath here. And they go, I haven't painted that one correctly, but yeah, they go under here and then hit all the fuel lines here that we were talking about before, that they need like one line per one 600 line per two lines. Meanwhile, these are using one line per four. So yeah, that's a big change. I've also put in some fluid like loops to make sure that I don't have problems with the liquids. I haven't done that with the water. I don't have the space for it, and that's my own problem. That's my fault. But yeah, so you can also see that a lot of these are stuck. They can't really do anything in terms of they can't really run. That's because we're not using the fuel for anything. The only ones we're using for fuel are these two, like these lines here in the middle, like these two, which are being used for the plastic. And if we look in here, they are running smoothly, as smooth as they can. Everything's green for a little bit, but the way that I've set up the logistics is that it won't unless I actually fill everything up with rubber and all of that stuff. So it will continue coming on more as the factory becomes more efficient, and that has to do with a smart splitter setup that I've put over here. So these three lines, which is what we will need in the end, actually runs in, then splits with a smart splitter, kind of like my smart factory concept that I showed. Like I have a video up on YouTube. You guys can check it out. It's in the tips and tricks playlist, so if you're interested in that. But yeah, I basically pulled it over so that they merge like this, once again with smart splitters, so that you always have what's needed for, like line number one will have everything it needs once the factory becomes more efficient, and then when that's blocked up, it will just send it on to make sure that the second line fills up, and then so on and so forth, all the way down. Ultimately here, whatever's left over will be sunk, for now at least. And then on the other end, plastic that is done, if we look here, is being merged, because one line makes 360, that's 720 for a full set of 12. And if we look at this, you have like 720 here, 720 here, and 720 here. So I'm running them 3 conveyor lines, and for now I'm literally just like syncing everything, because I don't have the places where I need to send them later, like other factories, done yet. So it's being sunk until that point. But yeah, like here's how it looks like now that it's set up. So one of the ways that I make sure that this can keep running is like sometimes I just go and flush these so that the rubber can keep being produced. But another way that I can do that is go over here and flush these so that the fuel is also being produced. Because these need the heavy oil residue, right? And if I just run them like this, I will also start using the heavy oil residue that I have in the tanks one floor down. And this is a manual method, not the method that we'll be using in the end. Like I said, once everything is up and running, I will start like balancing out so that we don't have blockages anywhere. Everything's just underclocked instead. And then once we start using everything and we can get the empty canisters in, I will then increase or go back to 100% capacity and instead sink whatever overflow we might have, so that they don't get stuck like this, completely full. But yeah, now that I've sunk those, you can see that all of these are kind of like emptying out so that they can start running. Same thing over here, like once it has space, it starts running. These middle ones are not connected to that because they go here to the plastic. So yeah, but what I can do to get if I need to run more plastic, for example, I can literally just go here and say like, hey, screw it. I am flushing all of these. And I also, yeah, as you can see, I've tried to put in some nice looking decorations around these. As you can see, they kind of break up a monotonous floor so that I can have some nice decoration and everything. And if you're running Lumen, like if you see on my color theory video, you know that these two colors are directly opposite each other, which makes them a complementary harmony. Hashtag complementary harmonies are fun because I like contrast, and because of that, they will mesh each other well when they're like, if you run Lumen and they have like light each other up or like bounce off each other, and the colors merge. So I've basically just been playing around with that a little bit because while I want to get as much mechanically into the series as possible so that people can learn how to use mechanics or the game mechanics, I also want to leave some stuff to create some inspiration for everyone. Even if it's a single person that just goes, hey, that looks cool, I want to keep doing that, or I want to try that in my own world. I won. That is all I want. That's all I need. It's just for everyone to find something that they enjoy about the game. But yeah. So what we have set up over here as well, we have the logistics going up to the second floor here, right? And same thing over here, or to the third floor. This is the new logistics floor that will be entirely for the 96 Turbofuel refineries, and then I will make something weird. I don't know yet, but I want to make something weird about the 134 overclocked fuel generators so that it looks fun. So we don't just like, and you can see that as well. Like I've broken up all the floors, so you can see they are not like one uniform cube. So that once I put in walls and stuff, once again, I won't have time to do that. But this is a way that I break up how I put in walls and stuff like that, and windows and everything, so that I can have a cool looking factory that doesn't look like a cube, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of want to like top that off with what I do with the fuel generators. We'll see what that actually turns out like. But essentially, I want to have some stuff that like looks cool. I don't just want an ocean of uh, like the same way that I like in the bottom of the floor or the bottom of the factory here. I could have just put everything uniform, exactly the same, but I decided to stagger the refinery sections so that there is some kind of like depth to it, if you want to call it that. So I kind of want to do something similar with the fuel generators. And yeah, so that's what I've done so far this episode. and I really don't have time to record more. I need to edit this and I need to get it up on YouTube. But we will have another episode on Thursday, and at that point, if you have an idea, like suggestion for like something weird, funny to do with the fuel generators, add it in the comments for this video, and I will see if it's something that I want to put into the like. Let's put it like this: the best suggestion wins. The one I vibe with the most gets put into the video. So let's see you guys over in episode 18. And remember, if you want to know more about like how I've planned the like the colors and stuff, look at the color theory video. And then if you like the smart factory concept like thing that I did with the manifold down here and here, then go look at the smart factory concepts video. Because I think that if you're a little bit more, not necessarily advanced, but more experienced with the game, then this is a fun way of breaking up the monotony of just running the same manifolds over and over and over again. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. And if you like the video, subscribe, push the like button, and if you want to have a chat, head on over to the Discord. I'm there pretty much daily, ready to answer any questions or have any conversations. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Bye!